does not change his standards to accommodate them, his pleasure and accompanying blessings can accordingly change to regret and accompanying discipline or punishment or vice versa. His judgments and decisions, then, are totally free from caprice, fickleness, unreliability, or error. Hence he is free from all erratic or eccentric conduct. As 18. 21-30. 33. 7-20. A potter may begin to make one type of vessel and then change to another style if the vessel is spoiled by the potter's hand. 18. 3. For by this example o textoi acute miritra longo, refi 777 God had afforded him, and because Saul's change called for a change in God's dealings with him. Once a 15. 10, 11, 26. The prophet Samuel, in declaring God's adverse decision regarding Saul, stated that the excellency of Israel will not prove false, and he will not feel regrets, for he is not an earthling man so as to feel regrets. Once a 15. 28, 29 Earthling men frequently proven true to their word, fail to make good their promises, or do not live up to the terms of their agreements. Being imperfect, they commit errors in judgment, causing them regret. This is never the case with God. PS 132. 11. Isra 45. 23, 24. 55. 10, 11. God's covenant made between God and all flesh after the flood, for example, unconditionally guaranteed that God would never again bring a flood of waters over all the earth. Ge 9. 8-17 There is, then, no possibility of God's changing with regard to that covenant or regretting it. Similarly, in his covenant with Abraham, God stepped in with an oath as a legal guarantee, so as to demonstrate more abundantly to the heirs of the promise the unchangeableness of his counsel, his promise and his oath being two unchangeable things in which it is impossible for God to lie. Hope 6. 13-18 God's sworn covenant with his son for a priesthood like that of Melchizedek was likewise something over which God would feel no regret. Hope 7. 20, 21. PS 110. 4. Compare 11. 29. However, in stating a promise or making a covenant, God may set out requirements, conditions to be met by those with whom the promise or covenant is made. He promised Israel that they would become his special property and a kingdom of priests and a holy nation, if they would strictly obey his voice and keep his covenant. Acts 19. 5, 6 God held true to his side of the covenant, but Israel failed. They violated that covenant time and again. Mal 3. 6, 7. Compare NE 9. 16-19, 26-31. So, when God finally annulled that covenant he did so with complete justice, the responsibility for the fulfillment of his promise resting entirely with the offending Israelites. Mount 21. 43. Hope 8. 7-9. In the same way God can feel regret and turn back from carrying out some punishment when his warning of such action produces a change in attitude and conduct on the part of the offenders. 13. 17. PS 90. 13 They have returned to him and he returns to them. Zakat 3. Mal 3. 7 Instead of being pained, he now rejoices, for he finds no delight in bringing death to sinners. Lu 15. 10. As 18. 32 While never shifting away from his righteous standards, God extends help so that persons can return to him. They are encouraged to do so. He kindly invites them to return, spreading out his hands and saying by means of his representatives, "Turn back, please, that I may not cause calamity to you. Do not do, please, this detestable sort of thing that I have hated." Isra 65. 1, 2. J 25. 5, 6. 44. 4, 5 He gives ample time for change NE 9. 30. Compare it to 20-23 and shows great patience and forbearance, since he does not desire any to be destroyed but desires all to attain to repentance. 2 P 3. 8, 9. Row 2. 4, 5 On occasion he kindly saw to it that his message was accompanied by powerful works, or miracles, that established the divine commission of his messengers and helped strengthen faith in those hearing. Act 9. 32-35 When his message receives no response, he employs discipline. He withdraws his favor and protection, thereby allowing the unrepentant ones to undergo privations, famine, suffering of oppression from their enemies. This may bring them to their senses, may restore their proper fear of God, or may cause them to realize that their course was stupid and that their set of values was wrong. 2ch 33. 10-13. NE 9. 28, 29. AM 4. 6-11. However, his patience has its limits, and when these are reached he gets tired of feeling regret. Then his decision to render punishment o texto acute miritra longo, Ref. 707